So I just got a message a little while ago from a guy, I think it was a guy, on YouTube, asking about the ESF fund, and I was thinking that was the fund that they use in Europe, and we use the plunge protection team is what he was referring to. But no, in fact, it is the ESF, as he said. It was created, I think, in 1933 or 34 or whatever. This is a must-see video. I mean, it's not like breaking news. Just talk about the precision, microscope, looking at gold and silver and how the prices act the way they do and how they're absolutely manipulated. And even though they're manipulated, the silver was $4 several years ago, 8, 9 years ago, whatever. $4 or $5 an ounce. Gold was $250 to $300, and it was manipulated then. It's still manipulated now, and they're throwing everything at it to keep the freaking prices down. All they have to do is print more paper. I'm not talking about money. Paper contracts. For anyone who wants to get in the commodities market, futures contracts, they just print them. Too many buyers, we already know they're not going to ask for delivery of the goods. They're just going to play the game anyways. Turn the printer on. Sell some printer paper. That's all it is. So we have Chris Powell from GATA, Gold Antitrust Association, or whatever it stands for. Again, one of the good guys. This is the co-founder. And the title of this is GATA's Chris Powell on the Silver Manipulation Probe and the Fed Gold Audit. This is a YouTube account called Capital Account. One word. I'm going to link it in this video. And, I mean, I've been saying actually a lot of the stuff he says, such as the paper. You just print more paper to keep the prices in check. So, not only are they doing that, he makes a good point. You remember when Blythe Masters from JP Morgan came out a couple months ago and said, oh, yeah, there's this, rumor on the internet or whatever that we, JP Morgan's manipulating the silver market. And she said, and she in this video, this lady here who's interviewing him, talks about that interview and places it on the screen for us to listen to. And she basically says we have customer positions, or our customers have positions with us in which they're hedging the silver market. And they may own silver, physical silver, that we're storing in our vaults at JP Morgan for them, but they also want to hedge against any issues that may arise. So they hedge against their vault position, so to speak, through us. So what Chris Powell says, again, co-founder of GATA, he says she may actually be 100% basically telling the truth. Their quote-unquote client or clients, no, not an S, just client, trust me, has those positions. And who's the client? Some traders, some rich people? No. The U.S. government. That's the client. So JP Morgan, we're not manipulating the silver market. And you know what? From the CFTC, there might not be enough evidence to go after JP Morgan. Because how can you say, because if JP Morgan is found, let's just say guilty, oh, they got evidence. CFTC found some evidence. Simply because the guy Andrew Maguire called twice, told them exactly when they would manipulate the market, and they did both times at the precise minute. That's evidence enough. However, if that client was the one doing it through JP Morgan, that client being the U.S. government, then that means JP Morgan was only doing what the client did. So the client, who has no choice but to use JP Morgan to buy or sell silver contracts that they had, told JP Morgan, maybe even through their own computer connection, just like you and I can have on our desktop, little trading account, we can do it live. Little Bill O'Reilly doing it live. You can do it right on your computer. Sell, put your stops in, walk away. Anything happens, it's all computerized. It'll do it for you. Just walk away. You don't have to stand here in front of it. So you know this client, U.S. government client, is the client of JP Morgan. Hey, it's time to put a sell order in. And we're going to crash the market because we don't want people figuring out that gold and silver is real money. It is massively a competing currency against our currency, which is paper fiat, pieces of garbage. If anybody figures this out, we are in deep, deep, deep trouble. It is a national security issue. You will never be able to get the paperwork or the documents you want to see. But as he goes on to explain, Chris Powell, they got enough of an answer in their lawsuit against the Fed to realize the Fed has secret swap agreements with other central banks and governments. Swaps with gold. Gold swaps. How much gold? Who owns it? We have a ton of it, thousands of tons, whatever, in the vaults, the Federal Reserve. And you heard the other day we're going to do a little news, of course, all the bozo media. We're going to take samples of 2 or 3% of the gold bars. We're going to drill into them, and it's going to cost us $400,000 to, damage to the bars to remelt them and stuff, right? For drilling to make sure they're pure. And everyone, on this side, the non-mainstream media, also known as alternative media, including myself in that. Not that I'm a media guy, but you get the point. We're all looking. Why are you drilling other people's bars? See, that's what they didn't tell you in the news stories about. We're drilling the bars that the Federal Reserve has in its vault. Well, hold on. Yeah, you're drilling bars of gold, but whose bars of gold? I know they're in the Federal Reserve vault, but whose bars are they? That's what we need to find out. Not drilling to see if it's 100% gold, for God's sakes. And wouldn't it be funny if they found tungsten filled in some of those bastards? That would be fantastic. Having said that, that's irrelevant. The drilling's irrelevant. We need to know who owns those bars and to begin with. And if we got 9,000 tons or whatever, isn't 8,000 of it other people's gold, other countries or other central banks' gold, and we have 1,000 left? Maybe we have none. Maybe it's gone. And we agree with all these other central banks, just keep playing with our dollars. We'll do these gold swaps with you to where if we get into trouble, all the gold's yours anyways. We're just going to store it over here. Remember that movie I like to refer to a lot, Friday, 1995? And Big Debo, the big bully, has taken this young man's bike and has been riding it for like 2 weeks as if it was his own. And pretty much it is. He pretty much stole it, you could say. So this young man, who's tiny compared to Debo, walks up to Debo and says, "Hey, Debo, can I talk to you for a minute?" And Debo turns around, chest all pumped up. "What?" "Pop's tripping, man. He wants me to ask you for my bike back." "Man, you know I wouldn't trip." "What bike?" "The beach cruiser. The one I let you hold a couple weeks ago. The one I've been asking you about." "Oh, that bike. Yeah, it's right up here, homie. I didn't know you wanted it back." "Yeah," and he says, "Yeah, it'll be like it's both of ours. We'll just keep it over at my place." And then he turns around and the bully punches him and knocks him out. Key word. It'll be like it's both of ours, but we'll just keep it at my house, right? That's the Federal Reserve. That's the U.S. government. All you countries, or what they're telling them. The gold's yours. It's yours, but we'll just keep it over at my house. It's kind of like it's both of ours. Actually, no, it's not both of ours. It's yours. Let's just keep it over at my house. This is comedy. You can't make this stuff up. I couldn't even write this if I tried. I couldn't. So the ultimate answer we need. Whose bars are they? How many of them are there? In bars or in tons? Whatever way you want to give us that data. How many tons or how many bars, 400-ounce bars of gold do you have? And of what you have that we also thought was government, federal government, because you say the United States has X thousands of tons. You didn't really say the United States owns 9,000 or whatever tons. You just said we have them, which means we're potentially storing them for other parties. And that's exactly what's happened. He also makes a good point. They've now resorted to leasing gold. So now there's leasing. Remember, allocated accounts. We've been talking about this for a while. Allocated gold accounts. People coming in one day to get their gold they put in there 8 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever, however long. It's not there. Or it's there, but it's not the serial number. It's not the gold that they put there. But it's the same amount, and it's got the same value right now, so okay, I guess I could deal with it. At least I got my freaking gold. And wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be absolutely... This would be funny. It'd be piss off some people, but it would be funny in my eyes because I'm always telling people, keep that damn gold and silver at your damn house. You don't put it anywhere. You don't put it in a bank. You don't put it in a safety deposit box. And you sure as hell don't put it with one of these allocated account specialists, banking facility, whoever it is. Wouldn't it be funny? Oh, that's not my serial number, and that's not my... I thought you said I was the only guy that has this key. This is an allocated account. Nobody else has this key. Well, yeah, we do have a spare key, actually, and I'm not sure what happened. Maybe they were doing an audit or something, and... But you have the same amount of gold that's in there, right? Yeah, I guess, but what do you mean audit? You're not supposed to touch my box. It's mine. It's in your facility for safekeeping. You're not supposed to ever touch it. You said you didn't have a spare key. Now you're telling me you have a spare key. Why were you in there? Why? Because they had to take it out to lend it out in the world. The powers that be needed it badly. Needed to lease it out. And they got some finally back. So imagine the funny part. One day they decide, you know, I know that's not my serial number. It doesn't match the paperwork serial number. I know for a fact it's not, but I did get, you know, X amount of ounces of gold that was in there, so I'm going to take it home now because I don't like what just happened. And then one day they're going to see something on the news or something that just sparks a little thought in their head. Man, I hate to ruin this gold bar I got here, but man, something's telling me to just drill into it and take a little peek. And you may find that the ones who get the crap gold, the one that has full of tungsten and not real gold, is those people. Not the central banks, not these other guys like we're hearing about them drilling in our central bank's gold right now. It could be, but I don't think they would do that. You wouldn't want to risk a country drilling into that you owe, you know, tons of gold to, and find out that they're drilling into it getting, you know, 10% gold, the other 90% is freaking tungsten in the middle. No, but you could afford to take the whole sheeple population who trusted in your garbage piece of crap system, allocated gold accounts, secure as, you know, secure as they come. Well, that sounds good. You're going to screw that guy. You're not going to screw over another government that could go to war with you or whatever, right? I mean, you could, but why would you do that when you can screw the peasant, who history says is the person that always gets screwed? Always. I think that's what's going to ultimately happen. And even if there are countries that drill and find, oh my God, we got screwed too, I think the majority of it, my opinion, but I think the majority of it will be the peasant class. They weren't listening to old J Snip 4. They weren't listening to Greg Vegas. They weren't listening to SGT Bull. They weren't listening to Pastor Dowell. They may have never even heard of those names in their life. Why should they? Who the hell? This guy's got a freaking taped up green screen in the back of him. What's behind there? A washer and dryer. That's prettier to look at than my washer and dryer and all the crap behind it, right? This guy's your expert? J Snip 4 in his house, his laundry. This guy's an expert? No way! I'm turning on the TV and they're going to tell me what to do. And you did, and you got burned. And this bozo in his computer room told you so. I'm going to link this below. Take care. You got to watch this video.